Hey, scientists, grab those lab coats and goggles as we explore how we can separate mixtures and solutions today. Let's get into it by starting with our essential questions.
Now, let's talk about our essential question. Remember, essential questions in science and in different lessons can help us think about what we already know about a topic, and it helps us connect to new ideas that we're going to learn today to help us produce a new thought about the topic. Our essential questions will be focused on our different science topics. So look for keywords. In those keywords, the minute you see them and recognize them, I want you to think, what do I already know about this topic? Once you have that in your mind, you want to look at the question again to see what we're trying to answer today or what are we trying to answer about that topic. It's important to remember that an essential question is like a goal as well. By the end of our science lesson, you should confidently be able to answer the essential question. Let's go over our essential question for today.
Listen to me as I read the first one. What is a mixture? Read that one with me. What is a mixture? Let's look at the second one. Listen to me first. What is a solution? Read that one with me now. What is a solution? Nice job. And our last one. Listen to me first. How can materials in a mixture or solution be separated? Read this one with me. Ready? Here we go. How can materials in a mixture or solution be separated? Nice job, scientists. Let's get into our warm-up activity for today.
For our warm-up activity today, I'm going to introduce you to Freddy the fish. Freddy the fish is a fish that lives in a local pond nearby. We are going to go along with Freddy through his journey and see what he goes through. Different things are added into waters, lakes, and ponds around us that we don't realize affects the fish. Now, sometimes it's easy to separate these solutions. Sometimes it's easy to separate these mixtures, but when it becomes a solution, it's harder to separate and take specific materials. Let's see what we can separate from our Freddy the fish. Let's start off by meeting Freddy the fish. This is Freddy the fish. He is a happy fish that lives in crystal clear water, enjoys the shade of the tall trees along the riverbank, and gets lots of insects to munch on each day. How do you think Freddy feels? Pause the video now and create a list on your front whiteboard about how you think Freddy feels at the beginning of this journey. As we go on, we'll talk more about how we think Freddy feels after different things start to happen. Let's look at the start of Freddy's journey. One day, Freddy wondered what was beyond his little part of the river. He decided to go on a little journey and explore. He's about to head downstream, and we'll see Freddy explore what's around the corner. He's ready to see what's in the world. Let's see Freddy on his adventure now. This is our fish Freddy in the first part of his clear little river. As Freddy continues on to his journey, he notices that after a while of swimming, he begins to notice a salty taste to the water, and he started to feel the sting of salt in his gills. All the salt that was used on the roads in the winter had worked its way into the river. Ouch! And it's hurting Freddy now too. How do you think Freddy is feeling? Make your observations after we pour some of the salt into our Freddy container. Let's add some salt into our Freddy container. Pause the video and talk. How do you think Freddy's feeling now that he has this salt inside of his gills? Now that we've had a chance to see Freddy in his first part of his journey, let's continue. Freddy continues on and passes a picnic site at the local park. While he was passing, the wind began to blow all the litter into the river from the park. So different pieces of paper and plastic started to blow in onto Freddy and get in his way. Now, looking at the materials that Freddy is swimming in now, the litter and the salt, I can see that the litter might be easier to take out with large nets or things like that. I'm able to scoop it out. But the salt that I put into the water, I can't even feel it anymore. Freddie felt it on his gills and while he was trying to breathe, but it is mixed into the water and created a solution, making it hard to pull back apart. Let's continue with Freddie on his journey to see if there's any other materials that are going to impact him. Along the river's edge, as Freddie continues, he comes across an old abandoned factory. There are lots of toxic pollutants and rusty materials seeping into the river. This creates a sludge in the river that Freddie has to try to swim through. Let's add our smudge to the river, our pollutants that Freddie has to try and swim through. Oh no. How do we think Freddie's feeling now in this mixture? And do you think there's a way we could get the sludge out of here? Now, there are definitely some different tools that we could use to help us take some of the materials that were added to the water back out of the water to help Freddie swim and breathe better. We could use different things or materials like nets to help us pick up the pollution and move it out of the water. But some of those things are more difficult to pick up, and we still leave a little bit behind, even when we're able to scoop some of it out. Even if we were able to take these materials out of here, we can see that Freddie is still going to struggle and have to go through some difficulties to get through his journey. But is this all that Freddie has to go through? Let's see if there's anything that's going to happen as Freddie continues on through his journey. After struggling through some of the previous materials, Freddie finally gets through the toxic pollutants in the river. Alongside of the river, though, Freddie notices a man dumping oil from his car right into the river. Here comes that oil now. As the oil is coming into the river and it starts to surround Freddie, it's a thick material. It makes it harder for him to swim. You can see it turning him around. The oil is now getting into Freddie's gills, and he has a hard time breathing. Freddie's going to gasp here. How do you think he's feeling now? Take your final observations at what you think these different solutions did to Freddie. Even when we spent time trying to separate them and pull them back apart into their original properties. Our exploration with Freddie showed us how mixtures and solutions can impact the different rivers around where we might live and the animals that live inside those rivers. That's not the only things mixtures and solutions can impact in our lives. Today, you will explore more about mixtures and solutions, where we see them in our daily lives, and how they can impact us in positive and negative ways. During your explorations, make sure you take great observations and listen to your teacher carefully as they explain the next activity. Have fun, scientists, and I'll see you guys soon.